Well, let's finish off the conversation.
How you guys all been? I haven't seen you for months and months.
Who?
Any of you guys? I haven't been to the SoundBroker's thing in probably 6 or 7 shows.
Right. You haven't been, sir. You've been Mr. NBA.
And I have been Mr. NBA, and I've been Mr. BLM, and now I'm Mr. VAS.
Oh, okay.
So are you going to go out and do the World Cup this fall?
No, not me. I got called by NBC to go do track and field for 3 weeks up in Oregon, but I already had some dates booked in there and I couldn't do it. That would have been great to hang out in Seattle for 3 weeks.
Yeah, but this is a lull time for you. You know, you go ahead and enjoy the gazillion temperature Arizona where you live. And
yeah, it's nice in Arizona. It sucks here in Louisiana. It's rained on us every day.
Well, I look at me. I'm in Tampa, Fred, and you know I got a hurricane hitting me on Friday. You know, you know.
Yeah, apparently a hurricane came through here somewhat recently because man, there's a lot of tore up shit here in Houma.
Yeah, they had that subtropical storm come through last week.
Are you in Houma, Louisiana?
Houma, Louisiana. Yes, I am.
What world are you doing down there?
I'm doing it's called NCVH. Look it up. NCVH, New Cardiovascular Horizons. It's a big conference in downtown Louisiana, and we're in a little mini hospital here. There's one happening in Florida. There's one happening in Grand Rapids. There's one happening in. We're all remotes, so we're like a news van that goes out and does these little medical deals, and it's all live back to the big mothership in downtown Louisiana at some hotel.
I went down there in like October of 20 and fishing down below Houma out where the electric line stopped and went past them. And it is like really down there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, good on you, sir.
The elevation here is like 2.
Yep. Have you seen any alligators yet?
I have not, but there's lots of places that sell alligators to put on your fork.
Welcome to the South, sir.
Exactly. Had a great night. Had barbecued oysters and seafood cioppino. Oh my God, it was good.
Yep. Cool stuff there. It's a real deal.
It is the real deal.
Well, for whatever reason, Zoom is not allowing me to broadcast live. So we're just going to record it and I'll have to put it up later for those people that, basically that's it. We've got some technical difficulties. The Zoom will not allow us to stream live. So we're just going to record it and then I'll just post it up to, I'll post it up to the social media after it's done. So there we go. Anyway, welcome everybody to the 106th meeting of the SoundBroker's RoundTable Mastermind Group. I will call the meeting to order right now, and just remember everything that we hear today is an opinion, so do your own research. And with that in mind, I want to thank everybody for coming. We changed our time. We're now 5 o'clock in the afternoon on the left coast and 8 o'clock on the right coast. And and we've been chatting for a while in the room, so it's been really exciting. Although I can't say what we've been talking about, if you're not listening, if you're not here, you don't know what you missed, that's for sure. Welcome, everybody. Before we get to the stories that I want to cover today, how's everybody doing? Anybody have anything they want to share?
Just want to say hi to everybody.
6 or 8 weeks.
Say that again, Fred?
I just was saying hi to you, Jan. I haven't been here in 6 or 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a while, but you've been busy, and that's what everybody's been doing. Everybody's been working a lot. If you're an engineer right now, you're working as much as you want to work. If you're a sound company, you're as busy as can be, and you're worrying where you're going to get the gear to do all the shows that you've booked. And and then there's the other aspect of it. There's some shows in certain part of the countries that won't commit. They have the need, they just won't commit. And that's what I'm finding as well. I don't know if anybody else is finding that, but I'm finding a lot of people are calling me, asking me for things, and then they'll say, well, I'll take it, and then I can't hear back from them. I don't hear back from them in a timely manner. I'm also being plagued right now with no availabilities of equipment to sell. For example, we just sold an S6L, an Avid S6L, and I can't even get a guaranteed delivery date on that. We've got a Waves package that's been on hold now for 2 months, and I called them today, and they don't know when that's going to be delivered. So there's a lot going on out there in the real world that somebody's making a blended drink. Kind of reminds me of when I was doing stand-up comedy, and that's when everybody decided, as soon as I was doing my performance, that they would come up and then they would say, hey, I'll have that blended drink, I'll have the pina colada, So it was David Dansky.
David, yeah.
Calling you out, David, on that, not muting your mic. Anyway, yeah, so it's been crazy as far as, supply side economics going. But it seems like it's super busy right now for everybody. So it's a good thing. Ken?
The problem is if you need a PSM 1000, you order it today, it will be here next June. It's 12 months lead time on that delivery time before they can manufacture it and get it here, which means your problem is, how do you get to next June with all the accounts that you have to cover and people that need more and more in-ear monitors?
I hear you.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I look on Jan's website and it's all sold out,
Everything is sold out. I had to put a disclaimer on our website that says that if it's a new manufactured item, that you have to call us to check out availability and delivery times. Which I've never had to do before. And it's crazy. It's a crazy time right now, but it's a good time. So it's everything, business is good when you can find the gear. And the other thing that I'm finding is a lot of people that want to sell their gear right now because there is a limited supply. Once again, supply side economics, they've decided that they want to get more than the gear is worth. And so all of a sudden I have a J rig and I have a V rig that I can't sell because the people want too much money for it,
Yeah, it's stupid. I mean, it's eBay with sniping going on, big time. I mean, I have an ancient DC 300A that people want to give me, $10,000 for, for a DC 300A, come on.
Well, if you have a Dante card, you're a rich man.
Yeah.
If you have a Dante card, you're a rich man right now. So, I mean, there's no Dante coming out. If you have a CL5, Yamaha CL5 or anything with a Rio or a Tio, you're a rich man right now because people will buy that from you for whatever price you ask, because Yamaha is not even open. The factory I hear is not even open right now. So
there is some stuff coming through Yamaha, but it's very limited and there's no stage racks. The problem is that I have a 7 I could sell, but I don't have a stage rack for it, so nobody wants to buy it. So that makes a problem.
It's interesting to hear about Yamaha, because last year when I was working up at the BLM, I was doing software upgrade on their MCL7, and I found out that they're out of end of life. But the guy told me they have 15 years worth of parts in a warehouse for those things.
And that's a good thing, because they're going to, there's a lot of those consoles are out, especially in install situations and corporate world. That's where that's where they shine. And so they're going to need
or like Disney, Jan, I mean, all of Disney is Yamaha. I mean, the event parts I'm talking about, not production movie wise, but if you go, if you go to Epcot and see a live show, yep. Yamaha.
Yeah. Also, I know I know that Carnival Cruise Lines, one of my clients, they're Yamaha in their showroom. They have the Yamaha CL5s, and they got ships that they're getting ready to put to sea that they can't fulfill their needs on their consoles. So, no, it's a crazy time.
It's gonna be interesting next week at NAMM. I remember I've only been to that show once, and there's this big stage in between the buildings. It's a Yamaha, whatever, outdoor venue. It's going to be interesting to see what they're going to bring to the table this year.
They're having shows on Friday night and Saturday night out there in the in between, but they're not doing the Hilton or the Marriott big exhibit like they used to. It's going to be very pared down because there's a lot of questions of how many people are going to show up as far as pro audio and stuff there too.
Well, NAMM was always, more for the musician aspect rather than for the PA companies and the lighting companies. It was usually it just was like one rotunda where they had PA, but then they kind of expanded that aspect before the pandemic, and there was a lot of pro audio there. I don't know what it's going to be like there this year, but we'll find out soon enough.
When they opened up that North exhibit hall or whatever, the South, whatever the exhibit hall that they got now. That was like 4 years ago. They went and made a push, and they tried to make a deal with AES to come in and join them and bring more pro audio in there. And that's been a little bit of a push, but the problem is that they don't really offer much other than here's another place to come see stuff.
Yeah, AES is down
Right.
there. I volunteered. I'm going to be a volunteer for AES on Saturday in the afternoon from like 1 to 5 or something like that, since I'm a member.
Hey,
And that's going to be at NAMM this year. The AES is involved with NAMM.
Yep.
Yeah, they have a little bit. Yeah, I talked to Graham the other day. He's flew today out there to do something. There's some extravaganza going on in Hollywood tonight that he had to go up to going on. I don't know what's going on there, but back down in NAMM. One thing too, if you're in the LA there, I'm trying to put together. I'm doing AES spring training in Nashville on the 19th, 20, 21st, but I'm trying to put a secondary spring training together for the AES out in LA, and I'm trying to shoot for February. Is the best venue to do a multi-site, multi-room event, center staging, or is there other places, some places better?
Wow. Yeah, you're looking Orange County for that.
Something that doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
Right. Orange County.
Well, that's where NAMM is. NAMM is in Orange County, LA.
Right. But I know, but more southern Orange County rather than right there with all that. How many people are you talking about?
Are you talking about like rehearsal spaces?
Well, yeah, but what I do in Nashville, what I did this past couple of years in Nashville, we're going into sound check, and I have one room that has like booths in it, and then I have rooms that I've set up to where like DMB sets up their immersive demo room, L-Acoustic sets up their room, Meyer sets up their room, and then I have training rooms do sessions on wireless workbench. Sure comes in and does a couple days of training stuff there. People come and learn stuff around there. It's a lot more training and in getting to know people, building relationships than just a exhibit floor, come out and do stuff. But the cost, I'm trying to keep it fairly reasonable. It doesn't cost an arm and a leg to try and do something that glitzy there. I'm trying to keep it, geared to the road and install people and stuff like that, contractors. I'm working on this year trying to get Dow, not Dow Chemical, Owens Coring to do a seminar on fiber connection and fiber care and maintenance and stuff there and types of fiber.
If you put that together, let me know. I would be interested in attending that event. I know Belden had a big truck up at NAB showing off this super small fiber. I mean, you think 9 micron fiber for single mode is small. They put like 5 of them in 9 microns. It's crazy.
No kidding.
Oh yeah, it's insane what Belden's doing. They had this truck sitting outside, and they had racks in there. I think they had something like 16,000 connections, and it took up maybe 8 inches.
Wow. I mean,
insane.
that's incredible. Also, translate that out to submarine cables and that kind of stuff.
Right.
For
exactly.
I mean, we're talking 800 a gigabit, in a sub cable that it is now, and a standard sub cable gives you 200 gigabit, and that's a quantum leap, Fred. This Belden truck was pretty impressive. It was just sitting outside, and they had it parked over at Topgolf, and you got to go through the trailer before you went inside and got some free grub out of Belden. But it was pretty impressive. Yeah, it has to be a bitch to splice, though.
Oh, I'll bet. I mean, 9 micron single mode is already hard enough.
Yeah,
with my eyes.
So, incredible. I wish I could head out that way. The only way I was headed out your side of the states was, it was a paid gig. So, and it was in and out. But yeah, your name was mentioned, Fred. So in a good way.
You sure it wasn't Fred Aldis? Freddie Aldis is the big wheel with ABC and Fox.
Right.
I haven't.
No, it was. Remember last year I was doing the parabolic stuff, at Raymond James Stadium.
Right.
It was Jerry who was the producer, and we exchanged cards. And I told him, and I knew you from another Zoom call, and so we kept in touch, and boom, I got the call.
Nice, good, awesome.
And so I owe you a Smith.
I love to hear when people are working.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I'm glad that you are working, and I'm glad that everybody's working. Brian, how's things with you down there in North Carolina? What's going on over there?
You're muted.
You're muted, but it's okay. We could read lips.
Didn't want to pull it down,
computer screen.
So, no, it's picking up. Can't find enough sound engineers for this weekend. It's like everybody's decided to do something this weekend, but we're getting there. So,
well, NAM's this week.
That may be the problem that I just now put together. But yeah, I had like 3 phone calls. I'm doing an event on Saturday, and I got 3 other people wanting to do something. So, and all of my guys are either busy or they're doing their own gigs.
I don't know if you've seen the breaking news, but apparently there's another shooting at a hospital in Tulsa.
Right now?
Just now. It just came across my phone as I'm sitting here talking to you guys.
I'm sorry to hear that. One of the stories that I wanted to talk about today, and I'll bring it up now, because I was actually the show. I'm discombobulated because of the fact that I can't seem to stream, and it's just so uncool that would happen. But it's the first time in 106 times that I've had a technical difficulty, and I think it basically might be my computer, because I can't seem to scroll down on the things that I want to scroll down. It's not nothing seems to be working right now.
Just move on. We're recording it, sir.
Yeah. But I can't read my notes. That's the problem. I can't read my notes. But there was so let's see if I could there it is. Now it's working. All right. So what I was saying about this is that Larry Gatlin. Let's see, who was it? Let's see. Well, Don McLean, he was supposed to play for the NRA gig, and he canceled. And then Gatlin, Stewart, and Greenwood and Brown, they also announced they won't appear, which I thought that was really, really very admirable of them not to play at the NRA, you know? And so that, you know, it's pretty cool. I mean, look, the thing is that everywhere else in the world other than America, they're not having these kind of problems. And that's because they have more gun control than we do. But our Second Amendment prevents that from happening, even though if you read it correctly, it says in order to maintain a well-oiled militia, you know?
Well-established militia.
Yeah. What was that?
Established, I believe, is the word.
It's regulated.
Yeah, well-regulated. That's it. Well-regulated militia. You know, that everybody has the right to bear arms. And of course, I think that if, you know, I wasn't there at the time, but I am pretty sure that if our forefathers of America had the kind of weapons they have today, they wouldn't have put that into the Constitution. The other thing is that if I'm correct, and I don't know if I am, maybe somebody knows, am I allowed to own a howitzer? Can I own a howitzer or a bazooka? Or
you can own the device. You can't own the munitions. You can't own the bullet, but you can own the device.
You can't own a machine gun. You can't own a machine gun or ammunition or not. You have to have a special permit.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like eight different permits that you have to have. You have to pay the money for it to have an automatic submachine gun, like for example, a Thompson submachine gun. You've got to have all sorts of government stamps that give you permission. You can't travel with it. You have to do this or that. You know, so I guess I guess the gun lobby is just too strong. That's it. And politicians just don't want to lose their election. And so the challenge is it until it really affects someone in Congress or the Senate, I think that there's not going to be any changes.
So, Jan, I'm going to beg and differ on you. I'm on the different side of the fence on this. And it has affected Congress. 6 years ago when the Republicans got shot up at the baseball practice.
Yeah, I was
right.
Yeah, there was a baseball shooting, yeah.
But if gun regulations control it, then in my opinion, Chicago would be the safest city in the world to walk through, because you can't even say the word gun without having a permit in Chicago. So
yeah, but there's so many guns in Chicago already. You know, I don't know what the answer is.
But if you're using the word gun control as the answer, Chicago's proven it's not. So.
No, I don't know what the answer is. I really don't know the answer.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job of keeping politics out of this, so I'm going to shut up at this point in time. But I mean, that's just, we're not all on the same page.
Well, no, it's not about me or you or whatever. It's everybody has to come together as a group and make a decision what's going to happen, and that's the problem. There's too many different point of views for anything to happen, so it's not going to happen. This is just going to be in our DNA, and it's continue to happen. I don't see any end in sight of this. So I don't see how they could regulate saying, gun, any kind of, like, for example, background checks. What is that really going to do? It may not be
regulation. It may be just a change in people's, I don't know, viewpoint on life.
I think, Jan, you just hit on it a second ago. It's just like everything else that's going on in this country. There's not enough conversation.
Right.
It's, you either take my view or you're out the door. And, we've got to get back to having conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I find fascinating? And this is just my 2 cents worth, is that everybody is driving all this stuff on mental illness. I don't think it's mental illness. I think it's bullying. I think people the kids are tired of being bullied, and they're lashing out at being bullied. We need to have a conversation about how to teach our kids to treat people with respect. If you're not bullied, you're not going to be angry at somebody and want to kill them.
And it's not just the kids. If you look at all these road rage videos that are out there, all these road rage people.
Exactly.
I was taking my motorcycle to the shop this morning, and I was cut off 3 times in 10 miles. And I mean, it's, again, and I think even the bullying and the road rage and all that goes back to, we are not having conversations in this country.
Yep.
Just sit down and, Jan, this is your view. Ken, this is your view. This is my view. Let's see if we can't come to the middle.
We are seeing bullying as a national political, action. Right now, we're seeing bullying on both sides of that, and your name calling and everything else that is coming there, and it's filtering down into juveniles that are struggling, seeing what's going on nationally.
Yeah,
they can rank. It's a matter of I've always thought this, and maybe you guys have an opinion on this, but I always thought that physical violence came down to the fact that you couldn't rationalize it in your head and express what you're feeling, so you can't express what you're thinking, so it becomes a physical violent action. That's what I think. I think the more intelligent you are, and the more you could verbalize what you're thinking and expressing it in an intelligent way, the less likely you are to be violent. I think that when you get to the point where you can't express what you're feeling and you get frustrated, then you get violent. I think that's what comes down to it.
And I think
it comes from the bullying, though. That's what I'm saying. Right. When you're constantly harassed every waking moment that you're alive, and you're never happy. You're never happy. At some point you're gonna break, and that's where maybe they get the mental illness part of it. You're going to have a break, and you're going to react. I mean, why would you kill your own family members? Well, before you kill people in the school that you're raging against.
Well, in those days, I could have given you 15 reasons why I would have done it, but I just, seeing I was more intelligent, I was able to give you the reasons, so I didn't have to do it. But the reality is that, there is bullying, and we don't see it so much because we're intelligent, we're older, we're above the fray. But the reality is my girlfriend, she bought this stupid little nail machine that she loves. And to me, it was, I really wanted to go and have it done, but she wanted to do it herself. And she, and she bought it, and it's not stupid to her, and it's not little to her. It's a big thing. But to me, that, it's not something that I would have done, but it's not my life. It's her life. And she loved it. And then she posted it up on Facebook, and a couple of her friends said negative things, and she was upset about it. Absolutely upset. So the reality is I could see that, she's 37 years old. She's intelligent. But she's sensitive. And there are people out there that are sensitive as well. And high school. So there is no answers.
So yeah. I saw an article study a few months back. I can't tell you the source, but the gist of the article was we started getting to the point that we are at now when CNN went online, when we went to 24/7 nonstop news. And so then everybody had to start filling the space, and then the competition got the space. And it's not saying CNN's the fault. It's saying the 24/7 news not relying on Walter Cronkite every night. And then the second part that he was arguing was that Congress has become ineffective because all the subcommittee hearings are about is getting sound bites for their elections. So, and the article suggested that you to walk away from media for a week. I walked away from media that week, and I haven't been back for almost 6 weeks now. I mean, I don't have all the news apps are off my phones. I no longer get pushes on my phone. I got one news supply company, like a newspaper, that I get about 6 stories in the morning, and that's all the media I take on the press anymore. And it has dropped my stress level of me hugely, and it's changed my personality. So
Well, I want to say something that you mentioned that today, by the way, today, 42 years ago, is when CNN went live for the first time. So happy birthday, CNN.
I was there.
You weren't?
The reason why I raised my hand, Jen, is that strategically, unfortunately, selling divisiveness makes you money, for the media company. The more outrageous thing that somebody can say on screen will get people riled up from wherever your viewpoints are. And then they fundraise on it. And it's horrible. I watch NTT, Japanese news. I watch, BBC. I don't watch CNN. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch MSNBC because they all got, they have a financial goal to meet by how many people, how many eyeballs they get, how many, forget it. Get me to a show and so I can mix it, and forget that.
It's too bad though, because CNN, when it first started, it actually had news. Now I just flipped over to CNN. We're still talking about the thing that happened in Texas. But yesterday here in Louisiana, there was a school shooting. Nobody's talking about it. Then the shooting that just happened now, I think Tina posted an article from CNN in the chat, but they're not talking about it on CNN. So,
right.
I don't understand.
It's a rehash. It's a rehash to go ahead and get people turn and churn and churn and burn.
Well, look, I look at it like this. And in regards to the media, and that is that there is no place where you can go where all they're doing is good news stories. There is no place out there. They wouldn't be in existence. And I cover the news all week long to look for the interesting stories that are not negative and are positive, and then we talk about that. Like for example, one of the stories that I wanted to talk about today was that booze sales at restaurants have surpassed pre-pandemic levels. How do you like that? I mean, that's an upbeat story about people, who are looking to destroy their kidneys and livers, but enjoying it while they're doing it at restaurants, So that's, here's something else. $4.99. That's still the price of a rotisserie chicken at Costco. Despite the nationwide spike in food prices, you can still get a Costco chicken for $4.99. And the reason they do that is because it attracts customers. So if you go into Costco, you got to walk all the way to the back of the store to get that $4.99 chicken. And I don't think anybody has the willpower or the ability to walk into Costco and just buy one item. I just don't think you'd be ridiculed at the checkout. Ridiculed.
You're right, Jan. That's the $600 store for me.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine going to the checkout? What do you want? I just got this chicken. Get out of here. You can't just buy a chicken,
We used to do that. It's the same as a gallon of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me change the subject on you, Jan. How many people here in the room have seen Top Gun Maverick?
Not yet.
Okay, I've seen it. It's a must-see movie. It's a must-see movie, and it's interesting. One of the things that was spoken about a couple of weeks ago is that somebody said that Tom Cruise would never allow his movie to be streamed. That wasn't true. Basically, what he said is that I will never do a movie that will be released to stream. It has to always have a theatrical release first. And just so you know,
IMAX and Dolby Atmos at the minimum. It is stunning, especially when you look into, and there's There's tons of articles online on how they did it. I'm telling you what, yeah, it was, yeah, it's a stunning achievement.
Yeah.
And it's good.
A little bit.
It's amazing. They spent over $11,000 an hour for military jet rides, just to be able to use the fighters. Over 11,000. And the way they set it up, okay, so it's the F-35 and the F-35C. So the actors were not allowed to touch the controls, but they were able to ride as passengers on these jets. And the reality, so they mocked up the back of the plane for them so that they would look like they were flying the plane, but in reality they were passengers, which is unbelievably cool. Just to be able to go on a plane like that.
To the pilots, they were calling the shots to the pilots, versus the sun angle versus, because if anybody's done any film set stuff, you've seen the Cineplex cars, with the big rotating camera on top. They had this on an F-18, orbiting above these guys when they were going down in the caverns. Yeah, they're going to get tons of technical awards. They may not get, the big Oscar and all that kind of stuff because it's, the writing was okay, but
really, I thought the plot line was great. I thought the plot line was solid. I thought the acting was really, really good. I thought there were touching moments in the movie, very touching moments, especially, the scene, and I'm not giving away anything, but there are some touching moments. I'm not no spoiler alerts here, but the reality is that it was filmed amazingly beautiful filming. And there was a through line to it from the first one. And I watched the first one after I came home from the theater, not immediately, but the first one still holds legs, and it's 30 something years ago that they shot it?
Right. Well, actually, yeah, almost 40 years ago, sir. I was in San Diego on the opening. And yeah.
If you go back to the early CES shows, that's the scene that they showed HD TV on for the first time.
Absolutely. And 5.1 as well.
Yeah. And so for years, we'd be going to the show and just experiencing an amazing
Kenny Loggins. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking about movies, Ray Liotta passed away this week at 67. He did that movie Goodfellas, and I love that movie. That movie was phenomenal. I'd probably have watched that movie 10, 15, 20 times. Has anybody seen that movie in the room?
Yeah. The Copa scene, the famous Copa scene.
Yeah.
Nonstop, 3 minutes, no cuts. And what's interesting? He goes into the Copa from the street through the kitchen, and if you don't know the scene, it's Martin Scorsese, and Ray Liotta and his girlfriend are on a date, and they can't get into the Copa through the regular way, but he's with his boys, so they go through the kitchen, and he's handing out money, tipping everybody, and they, oh yeah, come on in. He goes in, and they pick up a table, and they put a table right in the middle of the dance floor, and they sit him down, and it's one uncut scene. It's really famous. It's the first one that was like that. And in the Copa, it was Bobby Vinton singing. And in reality, it was his son, Rob, playing Bobby Vinton. And I work with Bobby Vinton, so I got the whole story. But that's Rob Vinton playing Bobby Vinton on the stage in that scene. So he's thrilled that he's a part of American cinema history.
Yeah, cool. Well, not anymore. He was thrilled, but I'm sure
that's a cool thing. That's a great shot, David. I'm telling you, it's one for the books.
I found
what's going on in LA, by the way? That's the question I wanted to ask you.
Well, I mean, all I can tell you is the weather, because I just got home. And it's in the 70s. It's beautiful. Today I was working around the house. I have no work coming up immediately, and I'm okay with that. I'm not looking for it really. It's like
Well,
everybody.
David, why don't you tell people what you've done for the last couple of weeks?
Well, Greg knows because I was just on the other Zoom with it, but I was in Europe doing a river cruise on Viking river cruises on the Danube River, going from Budapest through Vienna and Regensburg and Nuremberg, then to Prague. And
Viking cruises are cool. If
Viking
y'all
cruise-
ever get a chance to do it, do it. I've done it.
I gotta say, man, their production level is as good as anything I've ever done. There are people there to help you. Everything is totally organized. The ships are incredible. I was telling Greg about this. The ships are two rooms and a hallway wide. You know, you go down the hallway in the center. There's a cabin on the left, a cabin on the right. But they're 400 feet long. So they're long, narrow river ships, and they dock them side by side. If they have so many ships that at times there were 3 of us side by each, and they have them designed so that you can just walk through from one through the next to the next to get to your ship. And they tell you before you get on, we're ship number 3. And even though there's some people who forget, and all of a sudden they're going to ship number 2, and it looks exactly like ship number 3. So they really have their designs down. But the cabins have heated bathroom floors, heated mirrors, large showers, great water pressure, 110 and 220 outlets all over the cabin, that was really cool right there. The restaurant's food is great.
And Wi-Fi.
And Wi-Fi sucked. That's the only thing wrong. I had Wi-Fi. I was able to do what I had to do, but it wasn't fast and it wasn't 100% consistent. They need to go with Elon Musk's satellite thing.
I was going to say we got to get Starlink service up and running. By next time you go, it'll be there.
That would be it. That's the only thing that was wrong with the cruise was the internet was not up to the standards of the rest of the cruise. So I can tell you, if you ever have a chance to do first of all, the Danube is like the best one to be your first one anyway. But what a great company. They just do enough. They send you ahead of time your luggage tags, and you don't have to do anything. It's all done for you. It's great. We had a great time. And plus, we were in Vienna, we were in Budapest, we were in these great cities doing these walking tours or riding tours. So I can't recommend it enough. It's really cool. I was too busy to get on. I thought it'd be really cool to say, hey, hello everybody, here's Vienna behind me, but I was too busy doing stuff to do that.
Yeah, it seemed like you were shooting so many exteriors that you never got a chance to take pictures of the boat until the end.
Well, I didn't post them until the end. You complained, rightfully so. Where are the pictures of the ship? And so I posted in categories. I posted, here's Vienna, here's Budapest. And Prague was there's so much going on that here's the architecture of Prague. Here are the houses of worship of Prague. Here's the ship. And the last one I'm going to post is here's me and my wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys look very happy. By the way, I wouldn't consider that a complaint. Where's the pictures of the ship? But people misread me all the time these days. If I say, well, that TV is a little smaller than the one that we have in the other place. All of a sudden, why are you complaining about the TV? So I have to be very careful what I say these days.
So Dan, I got a quick question for everybody. Is anybody doing anything with the Invisible Industry tour that kicked off today?
What is that?
I guess not. Live Events Coalition has started a awareness program for our industry. It's called the Invisible Industry Tour. It's put on by the Live Events Coalition. I got like 6 hits on LinkedIn today about it.
Well, there you go. It's invisible to me.
But I got to tell you, the high profile gigs that I did in the past fortnight, what was really interesting was the entire crew was given how how to save a person's life in the event of a unfortunate event. Use your lanyard as a tourniquet. Everybody's given defibrillators, tourniquets, everything. That's at the front of house, and that's also in all the media rooms. It was, real crazy. They said never use your belt to help somebody who's bleeding. Use their belt because you may get hit. And that's now part of, AA level training for crew. What does that say about our industry? It's, wow, kind of scary.
Yeah, well, everything's a little bit scary today. I think that there's the unknown is at our doorstep all the time now, and we have to deal with it. It's the unknown all the time because we don't know. Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring. We all see that things are changing in our lifetime that we never thought we would see in our lifetime, i.e. COVID, i.e. Russia, Ukraine, i.e. supply chain issues. Who would have thought we would have supply chain issues at this point in our lifetime, to say the least, and that's something that we're all dealing with on a day-to-day basis. The other thing is that there are some retailers, for example, that like Walmart's and Target and Gap and Home Depot, basically they saw this coming, so they bought all of the stock so that they wouldn't run out of stock, and now they're overstocked. And so, they have over $45 billion worth of inventory right now, which is a 26% jump from last year. So now they're going to have to start unloading it, and you're going to see some sales at these places to get rid of the inventory that they bought. But it's the unknown. And one of the things that I do know is unknown, but it's a good unknown, is that Johns Hopkins University, there were 4 students that were eating lunch one day at Johns Hopkins, and they were eating burritos, and the burritos opened up and fell on this woman's shirt. And from that, they decided to create an edible tape now. And so soon you're going to see this at your local Taco Bell or wherever you go, that it's edible tape to hold your burrito together so it doesn't fall apart until you eat the very last bite. So there you go.
It looks like gaff tape. I saw a picture of it the other day.
Yeah.
It looks just like gaff tape.
So that's how we're gonna say goodbye to all the people that are watching this on social media. Again, unfortunately, we couldn't broadcast live. We couldn't stream. I don't know what the challenge was. I'll hope to fix it by next week for the 107th meeting of the Roundtable. But in the meantime, everything you heard today was opinion. So do your own research. And remember, you make it happen. So if there's anything that you need from any of us, go to the Friends of the Roundtable, Friends of the Roundtable at the LinkedIn, look for Friends of the Roundtable. You'll find us, and you could be part of the group and communicate with everybody, or Facebook or Twitter, wherever your preferred medium is. With that in mind, I want to wish you all a very happy and a safe week. We'll be back again at 5 o'clock next week on the West Coast time and 8 o'clock on the East Coast time. I think this time works well for everybody. It seems like everybody's here. And I want to thank you all for coming. So before I say goodbye to everybody, just remember, you make it happen. Is there anybody that wants to say anything to anybody that might be on social media?
Thanks, Jan, for hosting this at so early in the morning from Thailand.
Yes.
Are you still across the pond?
I am still across the pond for a couple of more weeks. I will be coming back to the United States sometime in July. I don't know exactly when, but I will tell you this, that all of the U.S. airline carriers that I have miles on, which would be all of them, Delta, United, American, none of them have any flights at all with partner airlines that you could buy that emanate from here in Thailand. In other words, Qantas is the airline that I'm going to probably fly on, but I couldn't buy the ticket through American. I'm going to have to buy that ticket from Qantas. There is no partner flights leaving from anywhere in the world into the United States that you could buy from a U.S. carrier. At least that's what I found. Tina, you did a little research. Did you find anything different? Guess not.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so that's a crazy thing that's happening. Nobody's reporting that at all, but it is a fact that you can't buy a ticket on. I cannot buy a ticket from American Airlines to go home. I have to buy it from a foreign carrier because they're holding back all the tickets to the U.S. carriers. Don't know why that is, but that is. Anyway, I will let you know what my plans are as soon as I know. The big day is June 22nd. Where we go up to Chiang Mai, Bo and I, for U.S. immigration, and hopefully she'll get her visa, and then we'll both come back together, and I'll be there for quite a while, be there for at least 3 months, as long as her visa will allow. If not, I'll be coming back for about a month to 6 weeks to do what I need to do, and then come back to Thailand. I just got my 1-year visa extended, and believe me, what a challenge that was. Unbelievable challenge.
Congratulations on that one. I know.
Yeah, it was
I know
very,
what
very
that's
difficult.
about.
Very, very, very difficult to do that. I had to go back there 3 times to get it finally approved, and now I have to go back again today to pick up my passport. So it's been a challenge for sure. But anyway, I'm looking so much forward to being back in the United States and to being my home in Las Vegas and to seeing Tina and seeing all of you guys that are, in my world. So anyway, with that in mind, I'm going to stop recording, and so we can continue talking. Oh, and by the way, last thing I want to say is if you're listening to this now, we continue talking afterwards and before we go live. So in that respect, I just want you to know that you're invited to join that. But the only way you can join that is by being inside the panel. So let me see now if I can do this. Shut this down, and we are now off the